Bienvenue à tous. Welcome to Reporters. I'm Mark Owen. In this edition, life under the threat of the conflict in Ukraine. Our team has been to Mariupol, the fishing port on the Black Sea, where people are trying to live their lives just a few kilometers from the front line of the ongoing conflict. There may be a ceasefire agreement, but there have been deaths since the Minsk Accord. In East Ukraine, there's a state of constant standby. Our international affairs editor, Rob Parsons, and our reporter, Johan Bodan, went back to Mariupol. They bring you a close-up look at how ordinary people are trying to cope. You'll see it's through unity, teamwork and faith. Our report begins with the National Guard and a woman leading training exercises, preparing to defend their territory.
Attack! Attack! Get behind! 2 steps apart!
Victoria is a veteran of last year's revolution in Kiev and a rare female commander of Ukraine's National Guard, reservists under the Interior Ministry.
Not too bad. They're new recruits. We're training them.
Next exercise, how to dig a trench under fire.
First of all, you need to mark out a line.
Don't think you're on the beach to get a suntan. You don't have much time. You'll soon be digging like tractors. To train him properly, we need someone firing over his head.
What
the hell is that firing?
Don't worry, it's just training.
Why didn't you warn us?
The idea is to be ready, to make them understand it's for real. We have to defend our country.
For several months, the Ukrainians have been preparing for an attack on Mariupol by Russian-supported separatists. Multi-lines of defense and endless trenches. The city is the jewel in the crown of southeastern Ukraine, a port that leads to the Black Sea and the Mediterranean, and 2 of the biggest steelworks in Europe. The separatists make no secret that they want it. Azov Steel, like its twin Ilich, is a colossus of Ukrainian industry.
The factory works 24 hours a day. It's non-stop. Since we began work in 1973, we've rolled out 61 million tons of steel. Frankly speaking, we're working to ensure that Ukraine stays alive.
The workers here have made a choice for Ukraine. A year ago, it was their volunteer militia that chased the separatists out of the city. 35,000 employees, that's almost 15% of the working-age population of Mariupol. Oleg is proud to have worked at Azov for 20 years.
This factory is really huge for the future of Ukraine. It keeps us in work and gives hope to thousands of people. It would be really difficult for our country without industrial giants like this one, or ones like an Ilich.
The furnaces are just a few kilometers from rebel positions, but since the start of the war, not a single shell has come this way. The district of Vostochny, 5 minutes drive away, has not been so lucky. On January 24th last year, a hail of Grad rockets fired by the separatists slammed into the district. In less than a minute, 31 people lay dead and 97 wounded. Afina works for an NGO that's helping the victims rebuild their lives.
Hello, how are things? Okay. How have you been since the attack? Barely existing. I'm living with my parents for now. Shall we go and see the house?
This was our bedroom, and that one was my daughter's.
The shell came through here while she was on the sofa watching TV.
So when the shell exploded, she was in the room?
No, she had run outside just before. Afterwards, I asked her why, because it was before the explosion. She told me she heard a noise coming and thought it was scary. My dad says it's impossible that she heard the rocket because it came so quickly. He says an angel took her by the hand and led her out of the house.
Where was your husband?
He was doing his morning exercises like he always did from 9 to 10. He had his weights in the courtyard. You can see the hole made by the shell that killed him. I understand that I can't bring my husband back, but I want to rebuild my house at least. I asked the mayor's office if they could help me financially, but they said forget it. No one can afford costs like that.
Like most of the victims of the attack on Vostochny, Tanya feels abandoned. The city authorities are conspicuous only by their absence.
The changes we hoped for aren't happening. So we have to do something ourselves at local level, which is why we've set up our initiative group. We're keeping a close watch on local government and stopping it stealing the city budget. Money has to be spent on helping people in this district.
Afina's voluntary organization relies on donations. In Vostochny, it focuses on replacing windows damaged in the bombardment. 4 months after the attack, the work is still non-stop.
Each window costs about 14 euros, but we give them for free. 14 euros is a lot for most people if you consider that the average pension is around 50 euros a month. And some people need to replace 10 windows. We cut them, and if they can fit them themselves, good. If not, we do it.
Vladimir and his team have already installed more than 1,000 windows, but their order book is still full. They've promised to carry on until they've finished the last one. Since the ceasefire in February, no more rockets have fallen on Mariupol, but the threat of a separatist offensive still looms large. And the front line is just a few kilometers away.
Everything okay?
Sasha belongs to the 37th Mechanized Infantry Battalion of the Ukrainian Army. His unit has been defending this position for 5 months.
This is where the soldiers of our battalion defend Ukraine and our border. Our enemy is just over there. As you can see, the men are just ordinary guys who just want a normal life. And before the war, they all had jobs. They were tractor drivers, lawyers, construction workers, factory workers.
Sasha used to work in finance. Now he's chosen to fight. Since the ceasefire, more than 100 Ukrainian soldiers have died in eastern Ukraine. And here, scarcely a day passes without casualties.
It's quiet now, although we heard explosions when we got here.
Their task is to defend the coastal strip along the Sea of Azov. In happier times, it was a holiday resort.
I love you, I love you.
Our jeep is betraying its age.
We desperately need good military vehicles. We do our best to repair these old Soviet-era jeeps.
It's knackered. Do something. We need to be evacuated.
And very quickly.
The separatists are just beyond the top of that hill. Good to see you guys. The engine caught fire.
We head for the headquarters just behind the front line. It's shared by the Ukrainian army and the volunteer forces fighting alongside them. Despite some rivalry, the war is molding them together.
We did have a sense of identity before, but it was ephemeral. Now we all understand it very clearly. We became independent 23 years ago, but it was like a gift. We didn't have to fight for it. But this war has confirmed our right to be independent for the rest of time. Without wishing to sound stupid, I want to thank Putin for this. He has forced us to understand what Ukraine means for. That's it. Stay here, don't go outside.
Our sector has come under attack.
It hit just in front of us. It hit about 40 or 50 meters from here.
Where?
Just down the road.
Where exactly?
Just beyond the house.
Wait a second, down the road from here, that way?
As the shells fall outside, time for a few moments' quiet reflection. Igor has just got married. An ex-Afghan vet who fought for the Russians in Chechnya and Mugabe in Zimbabwe. He finds himself fighting for the first time for his beliefs and loved ones, and against his former comrades.
They have their convictions, I have mine. I don't know what I will do if I come face to face with them. If it's me or them. It's tough. This war is so difficult.
Divided friends, fathers against sons. It's that sort of war. Most would rather not think about it. It's been a long night.
It was more or less calm. We suppressed their fire a little.
How?
Successfully.
For the most part, the sound of artillery is just a distant rumble in Mariupol. Like everyone else here, Katya is used to it now. A single mother, she's bringing up her daughter Tanya with the help of her father.
Dad, did you bring the car out?
Come on, let's get a move on.
Let's go. That's the bomb shelter, but it's always locked.
Katya does a good job of keeping up appearances. Despite the proximity of war, the rituals of daily life remain unchanged. She drops Tanya off at school as usual, but she can never shake off the fear.
Of course I'm scared. Not a day passes without my friends and I talking about it. There are constant unattributed rumors flying about that we'll be attacked on this or that date, and people believe them. I don't think my country's defended. If it was, we wouldn't be in this situation.
In the virtual absence of the police, responsibility for public order in Mariupol has largely fallen on Victoria's National Guard.
Look at what he's doing over there. God forgive him.
Chasing drunks is one thing, but Victoria sees her main role as keeping track of what she sees as the enemy within. Mariupol is a divided city. Many people here still support the separatists.
The important thing here is that people see that order is being maintained. It's important too that people see us patrolling on foot. It reassures them, while anyone planning terrorist acts knows that one of our patrols can appear at any moment.
End of the patrol and not a terrorist in sight. Just a boy with a broken arm. At the seaside in Mariupol, another day drifts slowly to its close. They come here to forget, to pretend for a while that they occupy a different reality.
Fishing is sacred.
But even here, the war is never far away. While the anglers tease the fish, they do so sometimes to the accompaniment of gunfire.
Can you hear the firing here?
Yes, you can hear the artillery really clearly. Do you see that big hill on the horizon? That's the front line. You can often see smoke when they're firing. Even the fish react to the explosions. They flee when they feel them.
We're hoping for peace, hoping with all our hearts.
Because we all need peace, including the military.
And the elderly.
And everyone has a family, everyone has children.
Will it end soon?
Yes, I think so.
It'll end soon.
And do you see a way out?
A way out? Yes, I think we'll stay part of Ukraine.
Hope, then, has not yet died. But Mariupol's future, like that of Ukraine's, is still in the balance. Towards what sort of country are these people heading, these teachers, these factory workers and fishermen? A country forged in adversity, or one left divided still, and prey to the whims of others?
A report there from Ukraine by Robert Parsons and Johan Boda. And that concludes this edition of Reporters. But stay with us here on France 24.